So I just said to Ade Oladipo, my good friend, I just said, Liverpool are back. I concede that Liverpool are back, but you shouldn't expect a title challenge just yet. He went bonkers. Ade, I don't think that's that controversial. I've conceded that you're back. I've said that you're looking good, things are moving in the right direction. I just think it's slightly premature to already expect a title challenge. Why have you gone so mad?
Well, because this is a manager, and he's had players that are still in that squad that have been in the title challenge before. This isn't an inexperienced squad that has not done this. This isn't like Arsenal's squad where I told you last season, they're not used to going 15 games unbeaten. You got to win 10. This is the squad that's capable of doing that. Let's not forget as well, the back end of last season to this start this season, this is a squad that's now gone 18 games unbeaten. I think I'm right in saying 14 games of those have been wins. This is a team that can do that. This is a team that knows what to do. This is a team that still has, I think, 3 or 4 world-class players in it. Like genuine world-class players. It's not that far off as you think.
No, but you're right. Like, I think this is what Jurgen Klopp said. Yeah. I agree with what he said. He said something along the lines of, something is growing, but I have no idea how big it's going to grow.
Yeah,
I agree.
It surprised him.
It surprised everybody.
It surprised him. He didn't expect Szoboszlai to land. He didn't expect McAllister to land. And I think they have. And I think every football fan thought, okay, they're going to take a while to integrate and you maybe are going to need something else in January. I think Szoboszlai has been a revelation in midfield. He makes it look so easily. A bit of Xabi Alonso about him. I know people like to say Gerrard, it's more Xabi Alonso. But I look at what we've got up front and it's goals galore. Like maybe more so than any other team in the Premier League. I know Man City are exceptional because of Haaland and Alvarez, but that's kind of it when I think of Man City in terms of goal scorers. They've got others that will chip in. I think Liverpool have about 4 or 5 that I expect to score goals.
But what about just this as a logic? What Jurgen Klopp has built at Liverpool already, it's historic. And that's kind of Klopp 1.0, right? We're effectively now saying he has to build his second great team, Klopp 2.0, basically a year and a bit off the back of building of one. So one's ended. It generally takes a bit of time to get into the second great era, doesn't it?
What you need to do, I think, to build a second era, a bit like Fergie always did, was you make sure you keep key personnel. If you can keep key personnel, when he would have been a bit upset to lose Fabinho, but I think if you can keep certain key personnel, I still think we've got the best goalkeeper in the world in Alisson. I think he's fantastic, and I almost feel like the 16 points out of 18 really doesn't tell the story because he's pulled off some worldies to keep us in the game. Worldies. I remember the one from Almiron, Newcastle. I think there was a Jarrod Bowen header. It could have been someone else header recently at Anfield. But I think you keep him. Van Dijk isn't the Van Dijk, but I think me and you spoke about this. Sometimes you just need a player that's just there that you can trust. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So even though they might have slipped a level, I still trust Van Dijk at the back. And that right-sided player is the best right-sided player in the world and has been for years in Mo Salah. Yeah. So I think if you can get pieces around a few good world-class players, you've got a chance. City are favourites, but we've got a chance.
Do you know what could be a worthwhile exercise here? Defining what back actually means. So I think Liverpool are back. I really do.
Yeah.
But I don't think it means back to compete with Manchester City and accrue in excess of 90 points. Like Liverpool have managed to accrue in excess of 90 points, 3 times?
3 times.
That great team. Yeah. And on one of those occasions as well, by the way, winning the league, the earliest ever winners and all that. So, no, this team isn't that. This team isn't back to that. I mean, they're in the Europa League. Yeah. That is a stark reminder of quite how far they've dropped off.
Yeah. That was last season. You're in the Europa League because of what you did last season.
Yes, that's true.
This season, I think, again, we've seen from the start, this isn't a Europa League team. I think it's a lot better than that. Like last season, I was watching Liverpool's games and it was like, my God, look at our midfield. The legs have gone. We're getting run. The one thing I can say, regardless of skill set of McAllister and Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones and Gravenberch, legs. Liverpool finally have, and he's always called it this, my engine room. Finally, the engine's got a bit of engine in it. All of a sudden, the average age of that midfield is 22 and it's got legs. Maybe lacks experience for the big push, but it's got legs.
Do you take second in the league and winning the Europa League?
No.
Really? I think that would be a brilliant season.
No, not for Liverpool. You're a team that, a bit like Chelsea now. Chelsea have won the big one 2 times. The Europa League just doesn't get me excited. I know when you did it against Arsenal, it was big because it was Arsenal, really. I don't care about I don't want to sound arrogant because every trophy is important, but it's right down the bottom of trophies.
I'm so surprised.
Right down the bottom. I just don't get excited by the Europa League.
I don't even think that the vast majority of people who are football fans in this country, and correct me if I'm wrong here, by the way, you're watching, if you think that this is a wild statement, let me know. But I think the majority of people who did their league prediction at the beginning of the season, you weren't even definitely the second best team in the country. You weren't even definitely the team that were going to finish behind Man City, according to most
Arsenal were. Yeah. Arsenal were. I think even with the business in the window, I think most people said United. I know it's not worked out now.
That, though, you know, if you become if you become the challenger, that's incremental improvements already. That's already a good season. If you become the dominant second force in the country, and maybe add a little bit of stardust, a little bit of silverware. I know you're unenthused by the Europa League, but by the time you get to a quarterfinal, you won't be. I don't think.
No, I'd rather, if you were to have said second in FA Cup, I'd be more like, I could shake on that. I could shake on the FA Cup. Europa League, because I know that the narrative around winning the second best European competition, you're going to get a lot of stick for it. It's like, there's going to be no celebration. There's going to be no open top bus. Trust me on that one. So second and maybe, but I look at this squad and I think potentially we could push those juggernauts. We could push them. We've got a good squad of players as well.
You know, when you think about the transformative nature of some of the signings, so Szoboszlai is probably the best case study to use here.
You know, what does Szoboszlai do to other players?
Elevate their performance.
Elevates them. Like, finally, we've got something.
Remember when Suarez landed? And suddenly everyone looked better. Landed. Daniel Sturridge suddenly looks the best he's ever played,
was
really.
Great. Philip Coutinho started to up it a little bit. Gerrard was like, well, this gets me excited even at my age. Henderson started playing. I think Szoboszlai, especially if you are a Mo Salah, you look around the change room, it's like, last season's like, jeez, God. You look around now and you see the arrogance of the Hungarian captain, the swagger, and you think, okay, wait, we might have got something here. World Cup winner McAllister. Maybe not the age profile that I thought like we needed, a 28-year-old, but it's World Cup winner.
Do you know what the difference is, though?
Go on.
You know, when we're talking about different eras, and okay, let's use the Suarez 2014, right?
Yeah.
I think Liverpool got about 75 points that year.
Yeah.
And they nearly won the league.
Yeah.
So 75 points. Suarez lands, plays brilliantly, elevates everyone around him. As you said, Sterling fantastic. Sturridge, the best he ever played. Coutinho, Gerrard excited. Amazing. Right, okay, great. And they hit 75.
Yeah.
The reason why I think you could get excited was because you weren't competing with Guardiola.
Yeah.
And therefore, now it's different. Yes, Szoboszlai could land and he could elevate those around him. And Liverpool could increase their points tally from last season drastically, but still not even come close to
you trust me, you're speaking to the choir here. I know this feeling. I know what 90 plus points and not winning feels like. But I also know that this team is capable of going on a run, and the only other team that can do the run that we can do is City. So when we spoke about Arsenal being able to go on this run, I was like, I've always said they can't do it because it's 10 in a row. You've got to do. This team's capable of it, and I think we've seen at the start of the season. And look, we've had tricky fixtures. Away at St James's Park is tricky. Yeah. Away at Stamford Bridge is tricky. Aston Villa coming to Anfield is tricky. West Ham, not easy fixtures. And I think so far we've been able to find a way to win, even in 2 of those games with 10 men.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, without Virgil van Dijk at the back for 2 games.
A lot of it is because of sort of Darwin Núñez thriving in this effervescent attack. It's such a... You're just full of goals, aren't you?
What it is as well, I think what Klopp's done is quite good here. Didn't start Darwin, started Gakpo.
Yeah.
And Darwin's almost like angry, off the bench, angry. Like, I want my place. I'm the big signing here. So now it's almost like the pressure's on both of them. You don't score, you're getting dropped. Because they're interchangeable. I said at the start, I think me and you did a video, and I said Gakpo will start because he likes the way he plays. They're interchangeable. On the other side, Diaz, if you don't play well, Jota's going to come in.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden now, there's options in that front line.
Do you know, I saw a good tweet about Darwin Núñez. You know, I think it was... I follow quite a lot of Liverpool fans. I think it was the guy Gareth who used to write for the Anfield Rats. Gareth Roberts.
Really
I think he's really good.
Fantastic.
He said something, I thought it was spot on if it was him. He said something along the lines of, Darwin has adjusted to Liverpool, but Liverpool have adjusted to Darwin, and now it's coming to fruition. I think that's right, isn't it? It's all very well saying that Núñez needed to do this and that, but Klopp had to get it right with him. His teammates had to get it right, and now it's looking like it's landing.
Yeah, the fans have got behind him as well.
They've always been good to him.
Fans have got behind him. He missed what I thought was a sitter against West Ham, and normally you hear the groans. It wasn't. It was Nunes. Nunes, 5 minutes later, he scores that fantastic goal.
Yeah.
Again, 2 goals off the bench against Newcastle. Incredible. He's a threat.
Yeah.
He's a threat in the
And
air.
he's a
He's got a
maverick.
lot of pace. He's a maverick.
He's a complete maverick, but he seems to be now playing for the team.
He's understanding English a lot as well. I can hear the instructions. You can hear it when they're screaming to him. Whereas before, because of his lack of English, I wonder if he knew what they were saying, the runs.
Yeah.
Now he's starting to get it. And he knows now that if he doesn't play well, Gakpo comes in.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, the pressure.
Gakpo comes now.
Also, I think having players in that midfield who kind of cater to his needs. Look, it's all. Look, I'm not. I've always been a huge fan of James Milner or Jordan Henderson, but I don't think Jordan Henderson's game is naturally conducive to bring the best out of Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
Whereas I think maybe Szoboszlai's is.
Yeah, maybe.
They're going to be more in tune with one another.
They understand.
Well, McAllister, they had that assist, didn't they?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
McAllister sees what he's going to do, understands it, a bit more cultured than Jordan Henderson or James Milner in that midfield. And yeah, I still worry about the defence. He hasn't settled on what he likes. Again, this week it was Matip and Van Dijk. A couple of weeks ago, Gomez came in. Gomez played right back because Trent wasn't there. Konate comes off the bench. We still need to know what. But again,
but this is the problem, mate. This is why I feel like I've been quite sneery to Liverpool here and kind of written them off.
You've done that quite a lot.
I do believe I'm right. Obviously, I could be wrong. My predictions aren't.
No.
I do believe I'm right. Look, but it's the defence.
I think you could be right, and I'm Liverpool. Like, I understand who the other team is,
and it's not even only that. It's the dicey moments in defence. Like, think about that. It was Jarrod Bowen's goal. You know, when he sort of dived in,
diving head up. Van Dijk's got to do better than that.
Like that doesn't happen 3 years ago.
No,
like that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't even try and dive in.
Yeah, no.
Well,
It's not the move hasn't developed like that. Like Liverpool were stopping things at source.
Yeah,
and I just think this is in no way disrespectful to West Ham, who've started the season very well and already smashed up Chelsea, but. I don't know. I don't think you would. I think you're giving yourself a real uphill battle if Jarrod Bowen's scoring goals like that against you.
Nah. Jarrod Bowen's decent.
No, I know.
He's a good player.
He's very. He is
and this
decent.
is the Premier League. It's the Premier League. I mean, anything can happen in these games.
He is decent, but I just think that Liverpool's
there's an arrogant way Van Dijk defends.
Yeah.
Where he's starting to be exposed a little bit.
Yeah. But can the weaponry up front camouflage the...
No, because Liverpool still miss an Endo, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like Endo. He's come in, he's going to get minutes, he'll play in League Cups and European games, but they still miss that Caicedo player that we tried to get. They tried others as well. I think they tried Doucouré from Crystal Palace. They still miss that 8, that sitter, or that 6, apologies, that just cleans things up. Right now, if you're Van Dijk, balls are getting into the area because McAllister's attacking, Szoboszlai's attacking, Curtis Jones is attacking, and there's no defensive midfielder. And Gravenberch is the same; he's an attacking midfielder as well.
So, do you genuinely believe? I'm not saying that you believe you will win the league, but you believe you can win the league. You're in a title challenge.
100%.
See, I'm not there.
It fell off so quick. I remember the start of last season where it was just I couldn't believe what was going on. I think we had like 4 points from the first 5 games or something. It was horrific. I remember the start was horrific. Probably wasn't that, but it was horrific. You can't do 16 from 18. And not think we've got a chance.
Mate, we're going to know. One of us is going to be right. We're going to find out in two games.
We've got Spurs and who?
Brighton. Tottenham and Brighton.
We'll do both of them.
If you do that, especially off the back of the run that you're on, that will be a true measure as to who Liverpool are.
Yeah, we'll do both of them.
Well, if you do that...
We actually have a good record.
Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham. We have a good record at Tottenham.
Yeah, I remember Balotelli made his debut at White Hart Lane. Funny when you remember these things, isn't it?
It's kind of funny that you even remember that Balotelli played for Liverpool.
Yeah, I know.
Like, crazy signing. But look, we got a chance. And I think if we are there or thereabouts in January and Klopp gets a bit more money, then who knows? Who knows? Because this squad has 3 or 4 world-class players. And Trent's not played the last couple of games as well. And we're still scoring and we're still assisting without Trent.
Yeah. Most creative player at the club. There we go. Thank you so much for watching this. Please do me a favour before you go. Make sure that you go into the description. Ade Oladipo's YouTube channel is there. Make sure that you click subscribe. He's got some brilliant content coming out on his channel, so go and have a look. Thank you again for watching this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. In a bit.